Okay. All right.
Hey guys, we're doing our inaugural Instagram live along with the Facebook live. So this is our first time.
Exactly. That's why the long pregnant pause. All right. We were waiting on it to connect. Anyway, how are you guys?
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Mark.
And this
how
is
are
Mark
you guys?
and Michelle.
It is. We are here tonight. Not tomorrow, but tonight.
Not yesterday.
Not yesterday, but tonight. So anyway, we wanted to just kind of talk about personal things and
we thought we'd do a story time.
yeah, share with you guys.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hey, Sabrina. And so we're just going to talk about things that have happened to us. Krista.
Hi, Krista.
And just share. Why not?
Hi,
you
Margaret.
Want to start or you want me to start?
Okay, so Mark loves fall.
Yes, I do.
Also
I am
known
a fanatic.
as autumn.
Mm-hmm. In case, I wonder if fall is an Americanism.
I don't know. That's why I said autumn.
Yep.
Did I don't think I sent you the joke about the girl who was addicted to pumpkin spice. So now she wears the pumpkin patch.
No, didn't see that. Okay, I got it.
So Mark needs a pumpkin patch because he's addicted to fall.
Now, I don't really care about pumpkin spice all that much, but I definitely.
It's a joke, Mark.
But it was a joke, or just. But so yes, I love fall. In fact, when spring ends, right as it's ending, I'm thinking about fall because that's just how I do. Because I like cooler weather, and most of the year is cooler weather, so that's great.
Well, and you like all the fall colors.
Well, I like that. Like the cool in the evening, so I can sit out and smoke a pipe if I want, and smelling nice smells, warm smells when you come into a warm house.
I promise we're going to weave this into autism.
We are, because we're that good. But yes, I like fall. That's an understatement. Like her dad likes daylilies, and believe me, he likes daylilies.
He has a daylily page because he hybridizes daylilies.
He does.
He makes his own, and they actually look way better than the ones you can buy.
Mm-hmm. They do.
He's gotten really good at it.
And tell everybody how much he likes daylilies.
I just did.
No.
Okay, you tell me.
Okay,
you tell them.
This guy, right? This guy.
This is my dad.
And he lives in southeast Missouri. They live about 7 or 8 miles from the Mississippi.
The Mississippi River, for those who are
right, not the state.
The United States.
Right. And when it's cold outside for the whole 9 rest of the months of the year, he's thinking about daylilies.
He goes out and replants them in new places.
Exactly.
In the winter.
In the winter, right? And
he has a mental map of where each one of them is. His yard is there's no grass.
There is no. He doesn't need to mow.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing to mow.
The front and the back.
Right. It's all daylilies, and so, so the 9 months of the year that it's cold, he's thinking about daylilies, new hybrids, new places to plant. He's rearranging the entire map. He even has an 1.5 acre field with some friends of his, and he remembers where they're all at in that 1.5 acre field.
And they're gorgeous. And if you want to see his daylilies, I'll just plug it. Don's Daylilies.
Don's Daylilies.
That's on Facebook.
Yep. Just look it up.
Anyway, back to Mark and fall.
Mark and fall. Now, to be honest, I may not like fall as much as he likes daylilies, but I like it pretty close. Right?
Okay.
And one of our weathermen here, who's an actual meteorologist, says
here in Oklahoma.
Here in Oklahoma, Aaron Tuttle.
Okay.
He says he would like 3/4 of the year to be fall.
Yeah.
And 1 month for all the hurricanes and the hail and the tornadoes and that kind of stuff. Well, hurricanes. We do get hurricanes here in Oklahoma. Like a couple weeks back, it was a class 3 or class 3 felony or. Well, what the tornado did was definitely a felony, but it was definitely a hurricane that came through.
Category 3.
Category 3 hurricane actually came through here. But anyway.
I thought we were talking about autism.
We're getting there. All right. See, this is the autistic way of getting there.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. You go right into it if you're autistic.
Well, that's right. So I'm wrong.
Mark's become an NT.
Yes, I have. So,
So we were living in Atlanta. Gorgeous.
mhm,
It's a beautiful place.
mhm.
And the mountains are really close.
And see, we're weaving this into fall.
And we're weaving this into autism.
Hey, we got 6 viewers.
That's pretty cool. Hi, everyone.
So we went. The mountains are close by.
Yeah, about an hour
Mhm.
to get.
And Michelle has a little sports car,
Yeah, little Miata.
little Mazda Miata.
I still have it. It looks awful now.
Well,
I live in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma elements have.
And I
bleached
got
it.
really sick here, and I didn't take care of it. Good care of it, but.
Mhm.
So we went up to look at the amazing color. It was an amazing fall.
Yeah, this was fall of 2010.
It was absolutely gorgeous. Hi, Tara. And I got to drive on the windy roads, and
It was fun.
it was really fun.
Scared the crap out of me, but it was fun.
Well, not like Big Spring, but we won't go there.
No, we've already talked about Big Spring.
So I asked Mark today, after watching that beautiful video he posted on his private page, if you guys are friends with him, of the northeastern United States.
Yeah, New England.
New England, yeah, that's the word.
Neither one of us ever. Well, you've been up there.
No, I've only been to Boston.
That's New England.
Yeah, but I've not gone anywhere outside of the city, so.
Okay.
So I asked him, do you remember that trip that we took into the North Georgia mountains? Because you were fully Aspie then.
Yes, I was.
And you said?
I said that while I remember the trip, it didn't make as much an impression or a memory on me as it would now.
And then I said, so I'm just going to say, why?
Okay. The reason, I barely remember the colors. Because when I was recovering from the autism, at one point, my brain all of a sudden got healthy enough so that I actually started seeing colors more intensely than I had to that point. So my color perception just skyrocketed within a day. If y'all haven't heard this story, we were in a Target. It's a department store chain here in the U.S. And we were in there. It's like 9 o'clock one night, 8:30, something like that. It was dark. And we were walking around, and all of a sudden I go, whoa.
And I said, what?
Right? And so I said, well, man, all these colors are just standing out more than they ever have.
And he was smiling.
Yeah. And that was unusual.
He never smiled. He did not smile as an Aspie.
No, I didn't. And I don't think most Aspies do. Some do, but I don't think most autistic adults, I should say. Some do, some don't. Because it's all different. So we see all these colors, and or I should say, I see all these colors.
You're talking about Target.
In Target.
Yeah.
With more intensity than I've ever seen colors before. And so.
Was it overwhelming?
It was then.
At that moment?
Yeah, it was then.
Never had that experience.
And I had to slowly walk and keep my eyes peeled and looking around, because it was
Wasn't
just.
I hanging on to you? It was almost like you were.
I think we had to do that after
a
bit
because it was so weird.
It was because my brain was perceiving color stronger than ever, and it was just kind of like, and it was really it was a strange experience. And then I had that happen again later on. That happened 2 separate times.
Did it?
Yeah, and about a year later. And so now I see all kinds of color very intensely, which is cool because I've always liked color. I mean, if I owned a fluorescent pink or a hot pink sweater, then I must have loved color.
Yeah.
And definitely when I was an Aspie.
That was the 80s.
Exactly. 90s.
90s?
90s.
Okay.
And of course that would have fit in the 80s.
Yeah.
But when she asked me today, do you remember that trip? I do remember the trip. I remember some of the events. We drove to small little towns in the North Georgia mountains. We went to Amicalola Falls.
Didn't we go to Blood Mountain?
I have no idea.
It was gorgeous.
We went to Brasstown Bald.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, if you're not based here in the U.S., a bald is a mountain that is missing trees on the top. Not because they cut down, Valerie does when she's up to something naughty. That's interesting. But a bald is a mountain that just doesn't have trees on the top because they didn't grow there. And so we were in Brasstown Bald, and we were at the top of the mountain at an observation post at a visitor center.
Yeah.
So
you had to take a shuttle to get up there.
Yeah, I think so. And you could look out when you were in that observation post, you could look out and see 3 different states. So Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And I remember seeing for miles and seeing all the different colored trees, but it didn't make an impression on me as much as it would now.
I don't even know if you could take the trip, if you could take the drive.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason,
terrified
it
of mountain drives.
Yeah,
since he has awakened.
Yeah, and it just bothers me. Well, remember we went to the Wichita Mountains when I was fully Aspie, and that bothered me though because we were climbing that one mountain. It was in your car, I think we were in.
Where were we?
Wichita Mountains, whatever that mountain was.
Oh, Wichita.
The Wichita.
I thought you said Wichita.
I was about to, but those are in Arkansas.
Yeah, okay.
And but anyway, the Wichita Mountains, and that was scary because
that was Mount Scott.
Mount Scott here in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma has a mountain.
It does, not big ones, but
it's kind of just rocks.
Exactly.
Rocks on rocks.
But
it's cool. It's cool.
But I remember the events of the trip, in the sense of we went to small towns in the mountains up there in Georgia. We went to Amicalola Falls.
Did we go on that one? That trip?
Well, we went to
Did
some
we go
falls
to Tallulah Gorge?
Maybe that was it. And so I remember the events. I remember us driving down one of the mountains and hearing a grinding in the engine.
Was that the same trip?
That was the same trip.
Okay.
And we were scared to death that the car was conking out on us. And how were we going to get home?
I coasted down the mountain. I didn't even have the car on.
Right. Well, and
because I didn't know what had happened to the engine, and the check engine light had come on.
Had it come on?
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember.
Scary.
Oh, that's right. And we had to drive for like another 40 minutes to a auto parts store.
Yeah, and I pretty much coasted.
Well, but then we were over at a friend's house later on, and we find out a big screw had come loose somewhere in the engine.
Yeah.
And hit one of the fans.
And that's all it was.
Like your car needs a propeller. Your car needs a propeller and wings. But a large screw had come out and it hit one of the fans inside the engine and made a grinding noise. And so Joey, our friend, he had small enough hands so that he could reach down in that really tight part of the engine. He pulled it out, which was great because we were worried. They were like, whew. I think for a couple of weeks we were like, man, what's happened to the car? And then he found that bolt in there and took it out. And so we were all right with it. But
that was a crazy trip.
But yeah, it was
memorable.
Yeah, but it was a fun trip. And again, the colors did not impress me like they would now. Yeah. That I can be sure. And
what do you think? What do you think woke up that caused you to see colors brighter? Because you definitely were not doing metals.
Well, I think a lot of that. That's true. I think a lot of that probably had to do with neurotransmitters. I'm getting the proper neurotransmitters because we were on GAPS at that point.
Right.
So I was having lots of protein that my brain could then turn into neurotransmitters, because that's what most everything that works in your body that does some kind of job is a protein. An enzyme is a protein. Neurotransmitter, is a protein. A hormone is mostly fat, but there's protein components to that too. So anyway, so I think I was getting the right neurotransmitters to see better, to see color better. I think that's what happened. And we'd probably been on the GAPS diet a year by that point. And I think that I had enough healing in my optic nerve and the vision centers in my brain for the color to pop out, right? And because notice I said on the trip, I remember the events, but notice I didn't say anything about the people.
Yeah.
See, when I was autistic, I didn't remember interactions with people unless I had to recount a conversation with someone, and then I could do it in perfect detail. Although I never knew what emotions were transacted between people during a conversation. And I didn't really remember the people. But see, now here's what I remember. I would remember the colors. I would remember the scenery. I would remember the car conking out and that kind of stuff. And
you would remember the fun we had.
But, well, that's where I was
Oh,
going.
sorry.
You stole my thunder.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So,
Kaboom.
but, so I would now remember the interactions that I had with her, and
maybe with a waitress,
or and they would have been fun interactions, because now there's give and take instead of me just looking at people going, what are they going to do next? Like when I was autistic. And so, I think we ate at a food court down there in Dahlonega, because we were in Dahlonega and we stopped at the auto parts place.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
At AutoZone or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I remembered stopping at the auto parts place, but no, I didn't remember the people that I talked to in the auto parts place.
I do. I remember that guy.
Yeah. See, I don't remember any of the interactions with human beings. I just remember the events. And I think that's probably the case with most people with autism, because the social interactive part of your brain just doesn't work as well as it should. And that's the thing. It's not like there isn't a social part of your brain, because if there was and you recovered from autism, you wouldn't be social, because you wouldn't have that part of the brain if there wasn't a social part of the brain. But there is. So mine woke up.
Yeah.
And all of that was prompted today by me posting that video of the New England fall colors. And so we thought that you guys would like to hear experiences like that, because it was fascinating to come out of autism and find that what's more interesting to me is interacting with people than necessarily remembering what little towns we went to in Georgia, or what highways we took, or necessarily scenery. I would have remembered. Now I'd be like, oh, that was beautiful. And I would have kind of basked in that afterglow of the scenery for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. And we would have talked about it the next week. You know. So I can't wait till Europe again. Yeah. Because the first time we went to Europe, we went to London and Paris. And that was awesome. But now...
He was autistic then.
Well, and here, let me tell you a story from Europe. We were in Paris. And yeah, you know where I'm going with that.
There's two stories I'm thinking of. So
okay, let me start with the Place Pigalle.
Oh, that one I hadn't even thought of.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna tell that story.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. So we had been in the Moulin Rouge section of Paris, and we had come down from that neighborhood because it's on a hill, and so we'd come down from that neighborhood. We were going through a place called the Place Pigalle, and it was a red light district. And so I knew it was a red light district, but I had never been through one. And so as we were walking, I had stopped and was looking in a window. Now, when I was autistic, I would just stop and I wouldn't tell her. And she would get upset because she's like, where did you go? You know, I just stopped, you know. But she always wanted to know where I was, which I get it.
I had to watch him.
Yeah, because
you're about to find out why.
Yeah, because I just disappeared.
I had to watch him.
And so I'm looking in the window, and it's a sex shop. You know, I don't know what they call it in other places, but we would call it like a novelty store here in the U.S. is what we call it. And so I'm looking in. We actually went in for a minute. We came back out, and we kept on down the street, and I stopped and looked at another one. Well, as I'm looking in the window, I feel people grab my arms on both sides. And now remember, I was still fully autistic at this point. And this was in 2002 or 3. I'm not sure. But two. And so all of a sudden, I hear 2 female voices. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, me and these 2 women start walking down the street. And Michelle is probably 20 feet ahead of me. And she turns around. Now, you know, it just occurred to me, I don't remember the look on your face, but boy, I would love to remember that now. She goes, don't go with them, they're prostitutes. And I'm like, oh, and I'm standing there bewildered. I'm not even looking at this.
I had to watch him all the time, guys.
Yeah. And then I go, And then I go, oh, sorry, ladies, I'm married. So I take my arm out of my.
And my wife is right there.
Yeah, and so I ran up to them and
To me.
to her, not to them. I was running away from them, and I mean, I'm sure they were nice girls, but it never occurred to me that that's who they were. And you know, another story. We're at 20 minutes. You want to keep going?
Well, we can save some stories.
We'll save some stories. We'll save some stories for another.
So
all right, guys.
This was our first Instagram live, so we'll see how that looks.
Exactly. Okay, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night. Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie, celery juice, lemon water. Keep doing that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Download the book at www.healyourautism.com called
Buried Alive, one man's journey out of autism.
And remember, we offer coaching. We do one-on-one consultations, and we have a group coaching class.
We have a group coaching program. We do, and you can sign up easily. It's $37
a month.
$37 a month.
All right. Okay, guys.
See ya.
See you tomorrow.